Hello, and welcome back. Everyone's had a good weekend. Everyone's had a good one so far. We're back at it again with some programming. Now, I will give you a little kind of update on things. I am very, very tired. And I haven't actually gotten that much work done between last time and now. Been kind of taking a little bit of a breather for my own sanity. But yeah. So, I don't have any strict things I need to work on today. There's a couple of things I need to have a look at. But again, just as a reminder, we are getting very, very close to the next update. No solid time frame on it, because there is some events outside of my control that are relative to what need to be done. But I do need to do some testing and stuff. And there's the problem I also have is there's some things I'm still trying to keep somewhat secret that I want to work on, and they're pretty much starting to become the thing that's like all that's left from me. So I might start working on part of one of them without explaining it at some point soon, because I do have a lot of things that I do want to work on, and it will be part of that. I know, terrible explanation, but we'll go how it goes. Nonetheless, though, let's show a little bit of the game where we're at. So again, I've been doing little touch-ups, adding animations, new particle effects. That's actually one of the big things. So this weekend, I spent all the time I actually spent really programming outside of one thing that I can't talk on. I spent learning particle effects in the game. Now, at the moment, there's only one that exists, and that is Kayson's ult. But I plan to do some more in the future. So to show kind of what I mean, this is a very basic one, but here we go. It's not exactly what I want, but it shows that her ult is active, which is the big thing. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I wanted to do something a little bit different with it, but I'm not sure quite how I want to accomplish that yet. So we'll do something about that maybe at some point. But there is a couple of weapons I want to test out, a couple of little pieces here and there that I want to potentially interact with to just see where they're at, see if they're up to snuff, because we're getting to the point where what you see here is probably what you guys are going to get. And why that matters so much is because if I release this and the gameplay feels significantly off, there is a very good chance people will not give me feedback and not play the game further. And that is an issue. because I will be heavily reliant on stuff like feedback moving forward. Stuff like balance and all that sort of stuff. We need to know what you guys feel about the game before we can really do anything. So there's a couple of things I know I need to go check on. And then there's one thing I'm gonna play around with a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, that is in the center. Yeah, so I might have to do that with it. Okay. We will see. But we've still got a couple of things that we still need to do. I mean, like, one that comes to mind immediately is that Shylali's assist isn't still implemented. Which is fine for now. Like, it's a fairly lightweight thing to implement. So this is what we were looking for. So I was going to put in speed hold equals 0. Because I didn't quite like the fact that the hand would just slide. So now idle song is weapon 11. I'm going to kind of do some work with weapon 11, I think. Because I want to see how it expands and if there's something I need to change about it. I do have 2 ideas for what might need to be changed. We will see which of those I might need to do. Because you see, like, that there is an example of what I'm kind of like, I need to... That's not right. Now, I could actually explain why that's being so weird. And I can actually explain it pretty easily in here. So we've used 9 slicing on this. Well, I've used 9 slicing on this. So it means that, like, as it expands in a way I want it to. The problem is, if I start pushing it this way, you'll see kind of a very quick issue. That there is exactly the issue. So we are starting from this, and we're expanding like this. That's not what we want. We want it to stay in the center the whole time. So that's kind of where we want to start from. So this is 64 by 64. Do I know... I wish I knew how much this was. I mean, I could probably do the math if I zoom in enough. Because, like, if it starts off as this... So, let's go... Because the problem as well is how I handle this weapon is not good. Because it's actually a very simple system of just increase the scaling. So I think what we need to do is we need to have this with a starting scaling of, let's go like 0.3, 0.3. And the Y scaling can be, we can call this a little bit higher, I think. It's still not great. Okay. So again, I'm just gonna play around with some magic numbers here for a moment or two while I think about if there's a better solution as well. Also, one thing I'm gonna just quickly smack this with, we're just gonna lower this cooldown to 4 instead of 7. Just for speed of testing. Okay, well that's better, but not right. Might need to do something about this. Also, I just went to press a debug thing that I can't show yet. God damn it. Why is this not working all of a sudden? I'm just gonna do this for, I don't know, reasons. It seems like they're not removing. Just X and area. Just do some quick debug valuing and stuff like that. Again, this is a weapon that has been needed to be tweaked since it got its visual change for a while now. So, yeah, this isn't too surprising. Okay, so it got larger then, but it's not triggering. Image scale is not equal to area. Wow, I just kind of realized how stupid I am. Image scale is less than or equal to area. No wonder this weapon has had so many bugs. Oh my god, yeah, because it just frame skip and it would break. Wow, who would have thought? See, this one I think is fine, because it doesn't really need to be much more than what it is. Okay, so I'm actually gonna probably remove this bit then, because it was looking like it... I don't know, I feel that like it had an adequate amount of area initially, and I just need to have the scaling of the area nicely. Because we got to remember that there is a lot of sources of area in this game than there probably should be, honestly. As well as Iron Mouse inherently has more area than most. Let's see, 10% more area, yeah. This is also designed not to be an initial weapon, so maybe that should be taken in consideration. No, actually I think this was better with this. Because, like, if we take into consideration that we are getting like 10% more area there. That's probably a little too thin. Maybe a little less than the 0.7 then. Let's look at the 0.7 again. Keeping in mind that we're getting 10.5% more area than the standard character. Yeah, so go maybe 0.5. Yes, again, I'm going to be magic numbering this for a while because we might as well at this point. It's not really much of a thing that we need to really care about other than that. With 10% more area. Keeping in mind 10% area is probably going to be like 1 or 2 pixels, right? So this is basically what we'd be getting. Could probably be still a little shorter. Especially knowing like the first level up's an entire +1. It's a huge amount of area that you get. Yeah, that seems good, and then like if we get this, it's gonna be significantly larger. No? Should be. Oh no. Whoa, that's maybe a little too much larger. Alright, let's see what this looks like when it's like maxed out. Keeping in mind that this has got a slightly lower cooldown than it's supposed to right now. So, do we think with a modifier of... where was it? Oh my god. 127%. So about 30% more area. This is reasonable. Yeah. I think it's fine. Okay, let's fix the cooldown again. Alright. Oh, that's that weapon cleaned up finally. That has been bugging me for so long. Okay. I need to double check all the characters as well, shouldn't I? See where we're at with all of them. Make sure we're all hunky-dory. Okay, that's something I need to do. I need to go through and do my pass of assist and EX amp values. Huntable probably still needs a visual improvement, which is fine. That still needs to get changed at some point, but that's a little low priority. Rambit needs to get some love and attention at some point. Because I still think it's a little bit... What language is this? It is Game Maker's inherent language, GML. So it's kind of like C? C++? It's probably the easiest comparison point I can make towards a real language. Okay, well, I shouldn't say real language. That indicates that this isn't. But a more normal language. I see. See, get it? Sorry. But yeah, no, it's the specific engine's language. You'll find that pretty commonly with a lot of game engines, is that they'll have their kind of own language, but it's based off something. Because I know this is, I think this is C# under the hood, from memory. Is how Game Maker works. Is it's actually like C# inside of itself, not the language you're writing in, but what it actually processes in. Because like the biggest difference between this and like C++ is that the way pointers would work. That's one of the biggest things I'd point at, like I'd reference as a big difference. Because information pointers don't really exist in Game Maker. Not to the same extent. They're references, they're not pointers. Which, if you don't understand that, that's fine. The shorthand is the difference between giving someone your address and bringing them to your house. It's like if I had to bring a friend to my house every time they wanted to come over, it could get quite tiresome, and it requires a lot more effort. Whereas, like, if I just gave them my address and they can come over when necessary, and they have a reference point of it. Okay, let's get this working then. I've only done a small bit of C#. Fair enough. I mean, it's good on you. C#'s not a insanely easy language at the best times. Has a lot of good power to it though. It's a really good language. I mean, most of the C and C variants are pretty good languages to learn, in my opinion. Like C# and C++ will get you very far. I mean, C# is what Unreal Engine uses as its primary style for when you're not using blueprints in it. And I know at least 2 other engines that you can do programming in C#. As well as it's also just a really good transitive language. It actually teaches a lot of really good habits as well, because it forces you to declare the type of information every time, which can be quite tedious for the developer, but it's really good for the system. And it means that you learn very clearly when you should and shouldn't make something public and private and so on and so forth. Again, all languages have their advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage of, say, Python is that it is as powerful as it is, so there's a lot that can go wrong. The disadvantage with JavaScript is you're using JavaScript. The disadvantage with C++ is that you're kind of locked into object-oriented programming. So if that's not your style, then that could potentially cause problems. But it has a lot of good memory systems for that. Same with C#, and C#'s less object-oriented programming, but much better memory management. Yes, also I did just quickly toss in that slight about JavaScript, because JavaScript. Nobody likes JavaScript. Alright, so what was the name of that object I had? I think I put it in here. So this. So by default, the target is that, otherwise, yeah, cool. Alright, so for, no, I'm gonna make a var, okay, actually, how do I want to handle this? Do I want to repeat the same thing and find a way to do that? Because the thing is, right, this one, it would be... Just gonna write value for now as a placeholder. And then instance create layer. Doesn't really matter where it's created because it'll sort out the rest itself. Except I need to do this as a with. Our game has weapons overlay as what we want. Weapon overlay. and then the relative object. So for now, shrine. No, sorry, this is the object we're making, so Lily marker. So this is where we get to that point that I was just kind of hinting at. No, I probably should. Yeah, we should probably do it all separately. Okay, so, what is the term I need again? It's instance number. And this would be instance find shrine number I. Then do this, but right? Yeah. And then have this as image blend equals something else. I need to get the image blend of this, because this is a plain color, right? Where's dropper? There we go. Because then what we'll do is we'll go splash white. That. And then it's hash that. Yeah. What color do I want to give this one then? The crates. Yeah, sure. Take that one. There. So now this should work and actually be quite nice. And then if I add like secrets or something like that, then we can also add those. We'll need to make a destroy event though for these, won't I? Unless do I have a duration thing in them? No. Do I make them just like 5 seconds or 7 seconds? We'll do it 7 seconds. Time source create with pause array push. Man, I love having so many of these functions that I've made at this point. They just like solve so many problems for me. ID instance destroy ID, then units is duration. information. Unit type doesn't matter. Arguments self. Just put it as ID. Just to be safe. No real difference, but you know. So now, if we go in and use Shy Lily's assist, it should function. Except it's a super long fucking cooldown, because of course I haven't actually edited assists to be faster. I'm going to do that because it's actually going to be faster than waiting. Gonna do the same thing we did. These. With the EXs, because it's just gonna make things so much easier moving forward. We don't want to do my testing. Cool, there we go. Get this done, and then we get Womp Womp worked on. Okay, so I should still have Shiloh's assist. Yeah, it's working there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn these. It's going to kill that. We don't reset because I forgot that's a thing. How lazy am I? I'm pretty lazy. There we go. So now they'll reset on exploration. Oh, about that. So yeah, we get you turning up there. And now it turns up great. And now the next shrine should spawn at 40 seconds. We'll wait till then so we know that we're looping correctly. There we go. Shrine down there, crate right there. I ran out before we got to the shrine, but yeah. Nice. So there is one little thing I could do. I need to remember how I do it though. this stuff. And then step event. This. Did you make the sprites? Is there any in the game at the moment that I haven't? No. So yeah, I've made all the sprites. Oh, I guess there's some of the mouse icon and the button icons. Those I didn't make. That's it. I think those are the only ones I can think of. We'll take this out of here, put it here. Then I will set the can bob. I mean, yeah, like it was a lot of work. I'm very glad with it though. I've only recently started being able to actually accept that, accept what I'm able to do is actually somewhat decent, because I used to do art when I was a lot younger, and haven't wanted to do it for a long, long time, for many reasons. Okay, I want to see how this works. If I need to do any more additional tweaking. I mean, there's an if check I could do to make this slightly more efficient. It's not liking it, okay. Yeah, so I won't bother too much with this, unless I want to do... Even if I do it there, it's not going to work, is it? Because this is a plus equal, so it's going to be incremental. Yeah, nah. Okay, there's no point in trying to add this bob yet. Unless I do something very, very different. So we'll leave that for now. I feel like I did make a script for that though. Didn't I make a wave script? I did. Control Shift F, find all. Case sensitive, ignore comments, whole word only, find all. Oh wow, these, what the fuck? These are old boss stuff, okay. These are the old bosses that aren't used anymore. Maybe we use this? Let's see what happens if I do this. Still doesn't like it. Might play around with this a bit more later. I don't remember how that code works. This is the problem with doing things like ages ago, is you forget. Because I remember they used to be like the way I did pulsing area damage attacks. Back when the bosses were way worse than the design of them are now. Alright. So yeah, we'll leave that alone. We'll go on to Womp Womp. Womp Womp. Windows, close all, because we might as well just start a new player character. So, how do I want to do this? Trigger shouldn't matter. Value array, we'll have that there. And you're also going to need a level up array. Oops. We'll give you just 2 levels for now. Don't think anything else will matter. I think everything else can be left as default. We'll see. Make this every half second. Because it's safer to do. Okay, so how do we store that information currently? Step event. We are looking for movement. Distance travel, there. Except this is technically wrong, because this needs to be designed in a way so it will always be positive, because this will get negative values in. Right? I think that's how it works. I'm gonna have to double check that. Input direction magnitude equals that. Move and collide. Because I think this is the directional values. So direct to that location. Come on. Move and collide. The distance to try and move along the axis. Yeah. There was a way, there's a value for this, and I've done it before. What is the value? Okay, that was it. I think it's ABS. Absolute value. And I think I need to do it separately for both of these. Yes, cool. That is what I needed, yes. So to explain this is basically checks. This is doing what I was like thinking I might have to do myself. It just checks, is this a positive value? Cool, do nothing. If it's a negative value, times it by -1. Well done, you've now made a negative value into a positive value, so either way, it's positive. Yay. The reason why that matters, because we want this distance to be a constantly going up value, because we want it to increase with the distance you've traveled. So we're going to need that value. Oh, player travel distance. So we'll just do that for now. This is not what it's gonna look like though. Oh, good lord, alright. So how do I want to plan this out? Every X, so deal damage every so many units moved. How do I want to ensure that I'm triggering this? So I'm gonna have to probably... There is a way to do this very simply. So we're going to have, this will be damage. So for now, I'm just going to make this, like 2, because we're going to probably make it a fairly low number. So damage is going to be 2, and then, current floor equals 0. And then, since I'm probably going to want to edit the value for the distance you need to move to make it trigger, we're going to have this be distance value. And then initially I'm going to make it like maybe 150 units. We'll see what happens if we run that. See how often it occurs. Okay, so then... How did I do it in those other cases? I'm gonna want to look at you. No, that's not what I need to look at. That doesn't help me at all. To item, if anything. This one? No. Okay, we need to look at items. Because I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 items that have what we want. Reflection, I know we'll have it. Right? Yeah, here we go. So, floor... Yeah, I'm using score for it. Wow, really? I'm using score for it? There's a lot of ways I could do this better. I mean, to be fair, this could be changed very, very easily to an on-kill effect. Actually, I probably will do that, now that I'm thinking on it. Because I could change this to an on-kill effect that just have a value that increments up. And then if that value hits this value, trigger the effect. Boom. Instead of this, which is currently a constant trigger instance. Which would take a little bit of the slack off of this. Okay, so value 8 and value 5. So kill amount, hold value. So this is the amount required. This is the current value. So we need the current value divided by the wanted value. Also, ability dot value 1. If travel is greater than ability dot value 2, ability dot value 2 equals travel, and then we do the rest of the stuff, and then make sure we do this at the bottom. So I'm gonna yoink an example because I'm sure one of these has that, right? No, that's an on crit effect, isn't it? It's on level up. We need a normal one. This. We don't care about that. That can be 0.5. Oops. And this is ability. Ability. Yeah. Awesome. So then. Shit, we need with. And now, do I have is a thing? Cool. This. I'm pretty sure it's still separate, isn't it? Yeah, here we are, Rambit. Except Rambit's not there. The data for it, Rambit is up here. Because Rambit is completely unique and separate. Should be in here. Alright, attack enemies. There we go. Just yoink all of that. And we change this. I think these need to be removed. Then it's weapon. This. Caster is O player. This can get drastically changed because this can be a time source. Create pause because this is literally what it replaced before. We'll get a different sprite for it eventually, but you know. Ability value 0 is what we need for the damage. Except I don't want that part of this. I forgot that I grabbed that as well. So for this, I'm just going to make it go up by 1 damage and then minus by 50. For its level ups. I think that's pretty reasonable. Yeah. Try this. Still need to finish Shayla's sprite, because I still don't like how I've left her arms. Just look too big. So I need to make sure I have Womp Womp. Is it really that often? Underscore target not set before reading. Hello. I'm gonna have to look at that in a moment. Okay, well, let's try massive increase then. I do need to remember that technically speaking, if I'm doing the math correctly, so again, what is breaking there? Target underscore target. We're seeing in specifically the enemy stuff, so we kind of want to. Enemy debuff script. Oh, it's gonna be her passive. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's about statuses. Okay. I might not be passing something through correctly. No, it's not to do with you. Okay, so it's not that. But it's definitely to do with Shaylily's passive. Shanya's marks. On deal. So something about the target's not right? I must not be passing through the target data correctly. What if I yoink all of you and put you above this? Yeah, so this is not a good sign. For some reason, that's appearing twice. Oh, I know why it's appearing twice. Because a bug's occurring that shouldn't be occurring. And there's that trigger again. It's the same value coming through, so I'm clearly not passing something correctly. Because I'm pretty sure that's the exact same value as last time. So 147. I can't see the other one. Let's copy this value and see if it's the same next time. Enemy controller step. I do want to have a look at that though. Enemy objects, enemy controller step. Yeah, debuff functionality. 42. You. So it's breaking when it hits here because the target doesn't correctly hold. Move Omen enemy parent. It's actually really interesting that that's a problem. Now that I think on some of it. Oh. Yeah, actually, I'm very confused with this. Like, clearly I've written something wrong. Here. So I'm just going to, for now, comment those two out so we can do testing on Womp Womp. Now I'm going to fix the bug that is currently occurring why we were seeing 2 Womp Womps. Explaining abilities sometimes, I love it. And it's real simple. It was because the assist was set to Shaylily before we selected Shaylily, and there's no system in place to save what your actual support was last time, which is something that's going to be changed. So let's just go with Gason, Shaylily. There we go. Alright, Womp Womp. So you'll probably see there's going to be no more crashes for now. So we're not getting much Womp Womp, but that's not too surprising. But now, so we should be getting it fairly commonly. Yeah. Again, good old placeholder assets. Don't worry too much about that. Okay, so now I need to debug the hell out of this. Why are you not working? Oh. Oh, it's not that, is it? Is that the issue? No, that's not. It's dot object index. I think that's what I need, right? Apparently I've run it in debug mode. That'll probably help. Yes, oh, I hate that. Oh. Index. I think this one. Okay. The object index, object asset. Yeah, so it's object index that I need. There, but I don't think I need it here. I knew I needed an object index somewhere. I just couldn't remember. Oh, fuck. Oh. Alright, let's see if we crash this time. Okay, so here we go. We've gotten the target wrong again. This is interesting. This is really interesting to me. Because I don't see how this is breaking. Target is not set before reading, then it shouldn't be passing it through. Because that's the thing, is it's breaking on this script. So unless it's dying in this time, which is nigh impossible, I don't see what's going on. But we've got that value. Let's have a look and see if it's pretty much the same. That's the same, and that's the same. So something's getting sent through incorrectly. How? Variable unknown object dot target not set before reading. What are other on deal effects that exist? We have demon blood, and we have moth numies. Let's on moth numies for a moment. So I want to see if that is breaking as well. Probably not, though. I don't see how that would have an issue, because that's a buff. Yeah. So we need to test on... So we actually need more viewers. So currently we have, oh god, this is why I really wish this got reworked. 2.2. .5, yeah, so there's no issue with the on hit code that I can clearly see. Or on deal, I should really call it. Oh, funny. Moonwalking, let's go. Speed moonwalking. Fucking fast. Okay, I was really hoping to just see that, just the fucking moth flying around the body pillar. That's just kind of funny. Oh my god, it goes so fast. Not gonna lie, this is actually really fucking fun. Alright. I should stop playing, but I want to keep playing it funny. Ooh, bomb. I mean, it's not that useful for me, but yeah. Let's go. Oh shit. Oh wow, I lose so much area the moment I'm not full HP, huh? Look at that area difference. Because it's area based on cooldown reduction, right? So, like, 200 area. We've also got 50 additional because we're playing as, we've got the EX activated at the moment. What's that cooldown reduction? God, it's so hard to read this because of the fucking changes. I think it's 133. can see Juniper being a character you want to try and like generate as much EX gauge as possible. Just because of how strong it is. It does look really funny with a lot of speed though. Almost feels anti-synergistic, I'll actually say that. So I might need to be careful about that in the future. Dude, I'm so fucking fast. Would really like Forgotten Poem because this pickup range is god awful. I do love how like just the change to Mary's weapon's like particle effect has actually made the weapon so good. Like that's actually something that's really funny to me. Okay, you can't tell me this is not funny to see the, like, giant moon form sprinting at Mark 5. Okay, let the auto-targeting help me out a little bit, because good god. Also, I think the Karibo just basically spawns for a second and then just disappears because it's using weapon thing. I think it's set as a duration as well by default. But it's also got a 1 second duration by default. So I think that's why it's just kind of like appearing and disappearing. I'll need to do something about that. That's easy enough though. Okay. I have spent far too long just actually playing the game because it was fun. So on deals are working. So specifically on deals that use target. Right. Alright, yeah, I really have no idea why. This is struggling. And I'm trying to figure out what I've done wrong. ID of the target to debuff, and that is breaking. Cause, all right, I want this crash again, and I want to actually do this in debug mode so we can get the values again and stuff. The difference is I'm going to cause a breakpoint here, if I can. A breakpoint here and a breakpoint here. So we need to play is Shylily. Cool, there it is. So we hit the first breakpoint. Instance of O enemy unit parent. O enemy unit parent. So that didn't break. That didn't break. That didn't break. That's fine. And now we hit the error. Okay, this is where I get confused. This is almost like this is telling me in the distance of code traveling from here to here, this broke, but that should not be the case. That doesn't make sense to me. How is it that small a distance is what changes this? Pardon me. So, like, I want to say this shouldn't be here, that this is the issue. And like, this isn't telling me anything about that, really. Like, it's telling me this value doesn't exist. So... Actually, this is telling me neither of these exist. Hang on. No. This is actually really interesting. Skill doesn't exist either in this list. Nothing is able to be evaluated. Except for this, which is already pre-done. So why is this triggering incorrectly? Because it's out of scope. That's what's going on. So why are you out of scope? Oh. Oh, I think I see what my problem is. This is the problem with this stuff sometimes, man. You read it, and it's just not making sense. Then you realize you were an idiot. Watch how this just fixed the problem. So, why this wasn't causing problems prior, but later, is because it would re-trigger, but it wouldn't have a target value passed through. So now we shouldn't be getting crashes. Just enemies taking more damage. Feels like they're taking less damage. We might need to look at that. Oh no, there's occasional certain ones are taking more damage, and we're not had a crash yet. We would have had a crash by now. So we found out our issue. We weren't passing through the target data, and therefore wouldn't have a thing. Ba-da-ba-bow. Now, I believe this actually... Oh no, it's targeted. It's random targeting now, isn't it? A lovey beam. Yeah, I think that was one of the changes I made to it to make it a little bit more weird. Which makes it arguably just horrendous, but you know. I wonder, there might be a better way of doing stun effects like that, like global stun effects. Is, in the controller dictating, hey, by the way, global stun event is occurring, therefore stun everything. Maybe we should do that. Because at the moment, the time sourcing idea, it looks a little ghetto at sometimes. Doesn't quite work how I want it to. Yeah, I think Womp Womp's working kind of how we want it to. Obviously, visually speaking, it's not very appealing. That's something that'll need to be changed, but... I mean... Placeholder assets, everybody. Okay. So we've got that working. So that's technically speaking, with that being done, that is every single character in and somewhat functional. Even if they're not working fully as intended, they're all in and functional and playable. Technically there's one character that isn't, but you can't see that character because that character doesn't exist in the normal list. Heh, secret. Gotta love having the occasional secret characters, right? Yeah, okay, that's pretty fucking cool. So, 1 thing I want to do. How do I want to do it? I want to change how this is done. Because I think I manually placed all of this, didn't I? Yeah. Can I tell it specific tiles to not touch? I'd prefer not to just keep doing what we've done here, because it seems a bit weird. I wonder how much that changes how this feels. Because I feel like I should start playing around with the lobby room. Start prepping some of its stuff. I kind of like how cute little Shy Lily is on the bottom of this. Comparative to like Booby that takes up the entire thing. You can Shy Lily down there. Though the pixelation's a bit weird. But I know why that's occurring. It's the same with a lot of these, because they're technically smaller assets. Because you'll see it with all of the ones that are like larger, especially. Yeah, like Monarchs looks really fucking jank. And it's because actually, speaking of it, it's jank now. Because this is copying out the thing. I might need to do something about that. I mean, there is a very simple solution, but I don't want to take that solution because that changes a lot about the game. It's a very dangerous maneuver. Okay. So outside of like general continuous cleanup that we've kind of got going, that will be perpetual for eternity. I don't think there's actually much left to do. Woohoo! Wahoo! So I guess I could probably work on some little asset things. What's one asset thing that I really want to get done? Just so I can stop looking at it. How about the target indicator? Grab this. No, not quite that. Because was it called the Lamb? kind of had what I was thinking about. Was it Call of the Lamb? No, it was, was it a legend? Seriously? Is that actually the quality of that image? That's fucking foul. I'm looking for reference here. Wizard of Legend 2. I've never played Wizard of Legend 2. I only played the first one. Yeah, it's a little bit more what I'm looking for. It's still a really bad reference image. Okay. Do I actually have a file for this? I don't, right? Because this was done internal? Yeah, so I don't actually have an image. Just pick a random thing. So I can launch this program. Control new. So what I'm gonna want is this. Then like yeah. That looks right. And then, okay. So if we have that as our baseline for the cursor indicator thing, what do we want on top of that? Kind of again, taking Wizard of Legend as a bit of a reference point. How do I word what I'm wanting? Oh, that looks cool. I love how League has come up like twice in here. God damn. Yeah, no, this is what I want. Hmm. Dude, I just see Arena of Valor. That just says a league map. What? Each their own. Each their own. Ground indicator. The fuck do people call it? Never really thought about this, but like, what do you call that thing? Alright, let's just move on then. Oops. Brush. What if we take this? Take this bit here. Is that kind of what I want? No, it's not. I mean, the pain part is that I kind of almost want this to be squished. Like that. But that's not gonna work. Not unless I put it on a 3D, on a matrix and then move it like that. Oh, but that's gonna be such a fucking nightmare. So I won't do that. I'll just keep it nice and standard. Because yeah, I could put it on a matrix, rotate it slightly, and then have the rotation relative to the mouse then. But there's... I don't know if that's a wise idea. The math for that might be really, really questionable. Actually, it might not be. I'm gonna make a standard one because either way we need the standard version. Because it's either I put it on the matrix and I rotate it slightly and then we have it, or we have the normal one. Those are the two options. So it's either way we have to have the standard. So again, looking at this kind of idea, like this is, I think that looks nice. Right, so where's my... So, like, do a cutoff point at about here, where it curves inward and more aggressively. So do this. And then I do want to have something that's a prevalent arrow. Like that. Oh, that's why. Is that for the targeting indicator, maybe? I'm gonna put it under. Make a new folder. Okay, so we can dump that into the game pretty easily. So this is what it is currently. Which is why I want to change it. Okay, let's see what it looks like in game. Just real quick. Because there's a chance like the arrow doesn't look more prevalent enough because it's not far enough forward. Yada yada yada. No, that actually looks pretty decent, I'm gonna be honest. Looks way smoother as well because it's actually circular. Could be a little smaller, but that's... I mean, there's a chance that we might make that relative to the player because like this looks pretty reasonable for the size. If you spin it fast enough, it just looks like a circle. Let's go. So, I'm going to try something weird with this. So I'm going to need some forgiveness for how weird this is going to possibly become. We want targeting area indicators. That's the circle one, we want the rectangular one. Okay. So we'll have that there, but then we'll also have draw sprite. ISP player directional arrow. Subimage 0 0 0 1 1 0 C white 1. Okay, we should at least see one, and then we might see one that's slightly off center. Yeah, so we see one that's not moving, which is correct. So the one that was moving is the normal self. Then we need this one. So I think this needs to be image angle. And it'll be fine. Whoops. Wrong area to rotate it on. It's this one. Okay, so this is kind of showing like why these matrix stuff is really cool but really weird, is that I can work in a 3D space with these. So now it should function as if normal. Cool. So we want the Y scale to be 0.6. Right? Or is it going to be the Z scale? Tell me that's not fucking cool looking. Oh, tell me that that doesn't look really nice like that. Oh, that came out better than I expected. It's now making me want to do this for more things. Fuck. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I'm gonna want to do this for more things now. It's really easy if I wanted to. Oh, you have no idea how easy this would be to actually implement in a wide strand of things. Oh, they look so nice. No, this actually gives like so much more of a 3D feel all of a sudden. So imagine if we did that with more things. I think that might be a really good idea. Oh no. What have I done? Oh, I've started something I shouldn't have. Oh no. That's really bad. That's really bad to give me that. Give me that power. Oh, that looked so good. Fuck. If I... Again, I want to stress, it wouldn't be too much effort to transition a lot of weapons to using that kind of thing, like the iron mic. But it would also be there's an argument to be made of like, it's only as difficult as it's only as difficult as much as it is going to be malleable. So what I mean by that is there's not all weapons are going to want that. That being the case means I'm going to have to make a lot of weapons that I would need to make a conditional check, and then I would need to set up a way of getting that conditional check, whether or not it should matrix build the visual or not. And then there's hitbox rig and those sorts of things that might need to be altered because of that. Because if I did the matrix like that for Iron Mic will hit a lot more below and a lot more above than it's visually showing, because it will hit the original locations. Because it's detecting for a hitbox, not detecting for where it visually looks. That looked so good. Nah, I'm gonna have to do that to a lot of them. I'm gonna have to. There's no way I leave as much of the game as I have the way I have when I've been able to just do that with just kind of this amount of code. I don't believe I have to do matrix cleanup as well, because I think the cleanup is done automatically, but I might need to look into them. God, that's such a pretty way of having it done. So again, like, the beauty of what we've done means that I can have the directional arrow look like it is over here on the left side here, but in game it turns up like this. This can be done to almost anything and everything at my discretion. So these portals down here, this can be done to them, and it will probably be done to them, honestly. It'll make them look a lot better. I can also do that to the circle that draws with them, because I'll just draw that to this, the surface as well, or the matrix. And the thing is, it's not inaccurate, because if you look at this, so the direction of the arrow is still following the exact coordinates of the mouse if we just kind of follow along. Like, it looks a little off, but that's just because it's always been a little off, right? Like, here is probably the worst of it. That looks so nice. That looks so nice. Okay. There's gonna be a whole thing that I'm gonna want to do now. That might be what we do on the next programming stream, because I don't want to do that in my free time. I've got more stuff that I want to be doing in free time that I can't be doing on stream, so... which is the problem. Hmm. Hey, yo. Okay, so with that, oh God, I'm trying to think of the best way to handle this. It's like, be under this, then it would be in draw. Then it would be draw self by default. And then it would be the matrix stuff. Be kind of like that. It's probably how it would be done. Under most situations, it's going to be draw self is true. And then, as an example, let's go to Iron Mike. With create collision shape, draw self equals false. Let's see how this looks in game. Ah, it's not gonna have image speed. Interesting. think I need to put this as -1 so it rotates. But I might need to set the speed as well. We'll see. This looks so complicated. Yes and no. Again, programming tends to look a lot more complicated than it actually is, but there's aspects to this that are pretty simple. What I'm doing at the moment is definitely on the more complicated side, though. Ironically enough, it's actually a nerf to the weapon too, probably. Area being wrong isn't hugely noticeable, but I'm still gonna have to do something about it. I think there's a very simple solution though. So, okay, the stuff is handled in the weapon parent scripts, and we want it be this value here getting modified. So this would be times what's it gonna be? So I'm gonna bracket this, and it'll be easy enough to work from there. So it would be object dot draw self. If it's true, then 1. If it's not, 0.6. That should give us the collision stuff that we want. Thinking of making a small mini game for your college minor project. Honestly, would recommend. It's a fun little thing to do. There is a lot of ways to do games in a very short amount of time, as long as you don't overscope. My personal recommendation, if you're thinking of doing a very small thing like that, is to write a GDD, a game design document. List out what you want to do, and then think about how feasible all that is in a short amount of time. Try and underscope as much as you can. And then find the engine that suits that. That's my personal kind of take on it. I mean, hell, we, on this channel, I had a little mini-series that's like 4 or 5 episodes long of me basically making a mobile game that's very much those, hallway shoot. And if you shoot this thing, you get more. If this enemy hits and the enemy gets to the thing, it deals damage to you, and you lose your units, and you gain more. I did that with a single pixel as the only sprite that I used. There's a lot of ways to do this stuff. And I did that in a very short amount of time. Mind you, I've got a little bit more experience in this, but than the average person, so maybe that speed is a little bit thing, but that's why I say, like, there are answers. There's also a lot of great tutorials out there nowadays. But yeah, no, I'd definitely say go for it if you're thinking that. It sounds like a cool idea. Always like the idea of encouraging people to do interesting and cool things. And I still have 3 months. I will say I'm designing something, making it, and having it run without bugs in 3 months, unless it's a very small project, could be a very big ask. Just as a warning, I will say that. I mean, technically speaking, this project, while has been done part-time for the most part and has been my getting back into coding experience, I have been working on this since February last year, so. Projects do take time. I mean, I've made a game with a group in the space of like 6 weeks, I think it was, 6-8 weeks. Once, and that was with me being the only programmer, so that was rough. That led to a lot of stress and a lot of burnout, so always give a bit of a warning on that. Best to get started now than later. Oh, actually, can I do that with it? Image. Blend. Does that have a return value? I hope it does. It does, yes. So it means that if I actually recolor the thing at any point, it'll recolor correctly. That's useful. Oh, do I need to do it? Is it 0.3 that I need to be actually doing it at? Maybe. Yeah, I think it's 0.3 I'm supposed to do it at. The math to work out. Made a website on your first semester project and partners were horrible, so I'm doing it alone this time. I mean, I want to stress my group project, the reason it was horrible was not the people I was working with. It was because one of the, so we were supposed to be like multiple programmers and multiple artists working in it. My team originally had 2 programmers, 3 artists. The other programmer disappeared pretty much after the first week and never actually contributed anything to the task outside of helping us set up some of the documentation. And one of the artists stepped up, and while I had to do more work because of it, I rewrote a lot of the project to be easier for someone that wasn't programming literate to do. So at the end of the day, you have to learn how to work in a group. It may suck ass. Really, really suck ass. But I would recommend working in groups as often as you can, because you learn how to deal with them. Now, not everyone works best in groups, but you're going to have to learn how to work in groups, because there's a very, very good chance that some part of your life in the future is going to involve other people. So it's a good shout to try and get better with something, and the only way to get better at something is to keep doing it. Again, kind of when you look at a group project like that, think on yourself. What could I have done differently next time to avoid these situations? Now, if your only answer is, I'll just do more of the work myself, that's probably not right. Very rarely I've found in my life that it's actually truly just the other people are just horrendous and bad, and it's that I didn't work with them correctly, or there was something that wasn't said, or something along those lines. In the case that I was referencing, that person had communicated that they were kind of only doing this degree up until they got certain thing ticked off, and it's also on my fault for not communicating earlier with the lecturers, hey, I only have one programmer, which is me. But in saying that, I compensated by, like I said, doing a little bit of extra work in some regards, but not having to do as much of the project. Like, I probably... Because, like, again, I did a lot of notation, I did a lot of commenting, I did a lot of things that made it someone that was passionate about working on it but not good at programming could come in and do programming. And even when they did things wrong, I could come in and fix it relatively easy and quickly. Which happened a few times, and it's how it is. Like, he tried to write the collision system, and he basically copy-pasted the wrong thing at one point. And it led to the collision system not working at all. But then I just changed to certain values, and when I next talked to him, I'm like, hey, I fixed your problem. This is what I fixed. You want to see how it works? And then we explained through it and worked through it, and it's boom. Both of us got a lot out of that. To be fair, you're also hearing how much of a charismatic kind of individual I am. I tend to be the person that leads a lot of the groups because I've worked in that sort of environment a lot in my time. I did like project facilitation as one of my jobs at one of the universities I studied at. And that role was really good at me learning to both be a team leader, but also a team, like a co-captain or whatever. I'm not here to push you and I'm here to help you do what you want to do. And it sounds horrible to say, but if everyone in the team thinks like that, then you actually have quite a good network going. So it's good to try and think like that. It's try and figure out what your teammates' strengths are and give them opportunities to use that. Find out what their weaknesses are and find ways to best accommodate them. As an example, one of my artists has had ADHD issues. They had really, really difficult times with focusing on the task, but they would produce really amazing art when they would be on task. So what we did was we sat down in free time, and I would sit there, we would talk off topic for a little while, then we would talk on topic, and this actually let her be able to keep her pace going quite well. And she ended up getting an insane amount of stuff done over that time. And it genuinely, again, one of those examples of if they hadn't done it that way, then we would probably not have done the project in the end. So it's a difficult one. At the end of the day, group projects are always going to be horrendous because you have to deal with other people. But just find a way to work it easier and easier. Eventually you get to the point where you know how to use the best parts of everyone involved, allow them to also grow at the same time, and then just don't have to do jack shit yourself. Or you guys no, you guys are doing all of this sort of stuff, awesome, great, and now I'm not having to do anything other than organizing you guys. It's a great thing. Or you don't get to that position. You get to the point where you're really good at doing your specific thing and working a lot of other things. Definitely keep that in mind. I know that was a really weird tangent, but I genuinely, again, that's why I say, I worked in a role that I really worked with a lot of that sort of stuff. And it is actually really helpful. But yeah, you're still in college, so I would highly recommend it's that generic shit that you hear from anyone that's older, right? Which is, you're in a period of time where you can experiment. You are in a safe environment to learn things, to do something and do something wrong. It's okay to do things wrong. You learn a lot from doing things wrong, because then you can go, cool, backtrack, how did it end up like this? Okay, cool, this is where it deviated off. This is when I also learned how to try and recover it. That didn't work. Okay, what could I do next time? Ironically enough, a lot of this thought process originates from back when I played like League of Legends and stuff, because I wouldn't blame my teammates. Don't get me wrong, sometimes genuinely you just had the wrong teammates and the game was bad. But at the end of the day, what can you change about the game? Can you change your teammates? Because next game, your teammates are going to potentially be 100% different people. Hell, your teammates could be your enemies. Do you really want to help them? It's cool to give like some soft advice of like that could assist you in the moment, but at the end of the day, the only actual tangible thing you can change between each game that's consistent is you. Once you do that, doesn't really matter. Sure, your win rate, you might not get the best teammates ever, and you will have those games where they will be the reason you lose, but your win rate will go up. Take that into team group exercises. It's a great way to think about it. As well as realistically, a lot of group exercises, they don't actually mark the final grade, they'll mark the individual contribution. So just make sure you leave a paper trail of all the stuff you do, and then that way it's like, even if you did half the project, you'll probably get a fairly good grade, as long as you put in the effort to allow everyone to participate. If you just took charge and did it all yourself, they're going to look there and go, well, yeah, no, you're not a team player, that's not great. Alright, is there any other weapons I can think of that I want to have them be not draw self? Probably... what's it called? Ink sprayer, but the second part? Draw self equals false. So that might look a little bit more interesting. Cool. Again, it's one of those, not many weapons are going to probably need it. I see a lot more like EXs, assists, and abilities using that effect than direct abilities at this stage. But I do like that. It's cool. That was one of those like heat of the moment, try something, and it apparently worked out quite nicely. I'm quite happy with it. So get rid of those because we don't need those targeting things anymore. Still looking for music as a reference point to try and work with. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I have to watch that later as well. Get my info of the week on that. Even though I think I know everything that got said. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can think of that I want to work on today, specifically, on stream. There's a cool idea, though, that we've got with this. I think this is a nice little quality of life cleanup. I might need to play around with these values, though, a little bit. I think this needs to be a 3rd instead. Let's see if this looks, feels a bit more what we're wanting from the area. So we're looking for things below. Still feels like it's hitting really far away, right? What am I trying to do? At the moment, I'm trying to see if I can get the collision hitbox to feel a little nicer with the surface drawing that I've done. So, I've just changed how certain things... So, what we've just changed is that now weapons can draw on a matrix. And on this matrix, I can basically squeeze it so it looks a little bit more 3D. Is what you're kind of seeing with that weapon, is it actually is supposed to be a normal circle, but I'm drawing it on this matrix surface to change that. What's not going to be the case anymore is the collision point for it, which is this stuff, the bounding box. So I'm going to remove this little addition and subtraction and see if that is the reason why it's feeling off. Because I had that on the circle before because I know the ellipse wasn't feeling great with its collision points. So maybe it'll feel better now. Doesn't even fucking collide anymore. So those mattered a lot. Let's see what happens if we put these at 6s though. Again, just trying to find a nice balancing point. Seeing if we can get it feeling right again. Because once we get this right, then it's universally correct. See, they're even on top of me and they're not taking damage. So the bounding box... something's wrong with it. Double and half. Double and half. Rule of thumb with programming, double and halves. If it doesn't look right, double and half. keep repeating the process until it looks right. Unless it's very clearly off. The fact that I'm not getting any collision at all is concerning though, because it's making me think like it was only getting collision because of those values and not because of a bounding box. Your character looks so funny. What do you mean? It's Iron Mouse. What was the thing for that? Mask index, this. So it would be under weapon. Is it weapon parent scripts? No. Player constructors? Weapon setup stats, weapon setup create. No, I can't do it there, can I? Fine. Let's try it this way. I don't really like the idea of having to reset that every frame, but if that fixes it, then I can at least work on it. It does not. Trying to think. I need to throw a way of testing that. There is a way of testing that. Is this software good? Game Maker? Yes, I like it for a few of the things it does. It's very, very good for doing 2D games. Some of the examples, by the way, of games that have been made in this before someone queries it. So like Forager is a really popular one that is done in this game thing. Risk of Rain, and then the Risk of Rain remake. No, Risk of Rain 2, Risk of Rain and Risk of Rain remake with Game Maker games. A lot of those sorts of games tend to be. I think Celeste also may have been. But it is fairly good for holding your hand a lot as well. It has a lot of great stuff out there for tutorialization and such. It's also on the lightweight side comparative to something like Unity and Unreal. So that's a good shout. However, I will say Godot has become quite popular as well, so that's always a good shout depending on what you're wanting. And then there is several others. Like, there's RPG Maker. A lot of people undervalue that one, but it is genuinely, for what it does, it's really, really great. Never underestimate what those things can do. Alright, I'm gonna draw an ellipse real quick. Betting box. We need left, top, betting box, right, betting box, bottom, outline, true. This way I can actually see these values. Only heard of Unity and Unreal. Yeah, that's typically the case. A lot of people have only heard of those two because they're giants in the industry. But we're definitely getting to a stage where they're less popular. Because, to give you an idea, my statements on it is like, if you want to use like the shadow effects and stuff like that, that Unreal have to offer, yeah, Unreal's great. But also keep in mind that one of the biggest weaknesses of Unreal is that you could close your eyes, spin around and point, and you can pretty much do an entire career solely on that inside of Unreal. Like, that's how complex it can get, which is the difficulty of it, especially on a solo dev side. Is it possible to use? Yes. Is it excruciatingly difficult? Also yes. So massive props to those that don't. I mean, hell, nowadays it's also not even abnormal for indie developers to make their own in-house engines if what they're wanting to make just doesn't quite fit any of these things. I'm not going to recommend that, and I hate those that say that you're not a real developer unless you have. That's a fucking lie. But then, like, Unity's just gotten quite heavy nowadays. That's why Godot and Game Maker have become a lot more popular. It's because they're a lot more lightweight, and while Game Maker, for example, is a bit more specialized, that's fine. I mean, Pirate Software Thor, very, very famous and very popular programming individual. He uses Game Maker for the game that he does. Hey yo. So it's kind of one of those, like, a lot of people out there tend to use really, really good ones. It's not too absurd. Okay, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to try and find out what the value that I want is for these. And then I'm going to try and figure out why the bounding box isn't working at all. Why it's not getting the right referencing. Let's turn this from outline to this so I can actually see it a bit more clearly. Because it might be underneath. No, it shouldn't be underneath. Then why is it not showing up? Am I really mucking up the statistics on this? Yeah, okay, so that would explain why the bounding box isn't working, because I'm really messing up the math. So if I do it as 6s, actually I'm going to make a var for this to make this faster. how will the game be called? What the game is called at the moment, the working title is give me a sec. It's up here. There you go. VTuber Unite. Yeah, VTuber Unite. Ugh. I've been trying to play around with better names though. It's just a fan game, so I'm not too fussed about the name of it though at the end of the day. Yeah. Will it be available on Android? Not likely, is my short answer to that. Ah, that's why we've had issues with the bounding box. Okay, let's change how we do the math then. So I am doing the math incorrectly. So... Oh. You know, it would be a great idea. What's that? The lecture's about to start. Come back later. All good. Hope you enjoy your lecture. Okay, so if the bounding box is like that... Easter eggs? I mean, there are. There are already Easter eggs. There's even a few already in the game. And there's going to be plenty more when the game actually gets to Steam. But there's a level of... my priority at the moment is to ensure that I actually have the main game and gameplay loop feeling nice and fun. That's why at the moment I'm working with bounding box issues. Like, I can tell you now there is already at least one secret character in the game and plenty of references. There will be collectibles as well. That's something that's already been prepped on. And there's a specific thing that I want to add that I've had to... I can't talk on because legal reasons. So if I make this 0.3, then we make this, so this is top, so we want this plus. BB top. Grab this. And maybe a button that leads to a YouTube video rickroll. I mean, maybe, but that's definitely starting to get into that territory of like, I don't see a huge benefit to it. Okay, that's clearly wrong. Like, there's a point in time where what's more important, the actual game being fun or adding in so many references that I create a terrible game. I'm not disagreeing with there should be a level of this stuff, but like there's a point in time where you have to do one or the other. Right? Okay, so that clearly isn't working that way. Would it be division then? No, it's the other way around. Top needs to be minus. Thing needs to be, yeah. Okay, so that's something I'll change. Let's see if this gives me a closer to expected value. Nope. Okay, so this should be, no. I could stop being lazy. I could maybe try and learn coding. I mean, from the sounds of it, yeah, that's the only thing that's holding you back. It's not actually that difficult to start learning. We're in a golden age of game development where it is really, really easy to get all the info that you would need. So do not think that it is difficult to get into. Gotta motivate yourself at the end of the day. Just think of something that you kind of want to do and play around with some stuff for it. Maybe I'll try when I'm finished with college. Personally, my recommendation is just do it in your free time. Just do it as a little part-time fun thing. Make like a crappy little game, put it on Android or iOS. See where it goes from there. But no, I'd recommend just starting as soon as you can. Sooner you start, sooner you learn more. I'm approaching this wrong. What if... Is there a website to learn coding? Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll find you something really quickly that's a good advice point. This is a man, Pirate Software, Thor. He's very, very good at what he does. He is an ex-Blizzard employee, and he's very, very capable. Here is his little website that he has. For information, he also does streams. I do streams about game development. But he kind of points at how easy it is to kind of get into this stuff. And it is only yourself that's holding you back. He also has a really great Discord with a lot of awesome tools. I can't speak to development on an iPad, personally. I don't know how easy or hard that will be. I'm sure there's probably ways. I mean, surely something like Visual Studio or something like that exists, but that will also probably be a nightmare in its own right. But yeah. Wait, is that what I've been doing wrong this entire time? Yeah, okay. I just realized I've been doing something wrong the entire time. Could have been the reason why a lot of these values fell off. So that's wrong. Cool. That's closer to what we want. Okay. So what if we actually do swap these? Welcome back. That doesn't change anything. Yeah, and that just gets more egregious. Because yeah, that's going that way, so I need to somehow get... So I need this value, this value. So this gives me the normal circle. I feel like I've done this equation before, and the fact that it's not working is annoying me. So top would be plus a value, because that makes it go down, because Game Maker origin is top left. So... I'm good at math too, this is really fucking annoying. So I need the position. Then I need to plus the small amount of difference. So I need... It's got to be relative to the bounding box bottom, right? should I go to sleep? It's 2 a.m. for you. I mean, my statement on that is as long as it doesn't affect you, like your sleep schedule is yours. I wake up at like 2, 3 in the morning myself, and people will call that abnormal, but I also go to bed at like 7 most nights, so... I have a friend that actually has probably gone to bed right about now-ish, and it's 11 a.m. Have a good day. To you as well. Or good sleep, I guess. Need to... I feel like I need paint up for this to just kind of like have something to visually work with. So, bounding box top. So these are the 2 bounding box locations that we're getting. So this is top and left. And then this is relative to origin. What we want is the reduced value from the top and the reduced value from the bottom. So I need... what this space is. Because then I can do from here to here, and from there to, well, there to there. And invert it. So I need... variable diff equals it'd be bounding box bottom minus bounding box top, and then the final variable would be so this is probably going to be 0.3 then. Value will equal diff times val, and then top will be minus val, and bottom will be plus val. This should be correct. Wrong way around, I guess. Oh, you know, of course it's the wrong way around. Always get messed around with that. Plus is down, minus is up. So now this should be correct. Cool, the math is off, that's fine. Is it 0.6 then? We've got the equation correct, it's the base value that's wrong. That's easy enough to fix. No, so that got worse. So we need... What's half of 3? That... It's basically almost there. That better. Yeah, it's looking pretty decent. I could probably give it a little bit of love of 2.5 or 0.25. Wrong way to give it love. 1.5. Give it a bit of extra over the space, because again, keep in mind what we're doing here, you're not going to visually see anyway. This is just what it actually has as its collision points. Should be good. Okay, so now I need to take these sorts of values, and we need to take this and place this here. And then this needs to be top is minus 0 or val. And this is plus 0 or val. So if we remove this and we run the game again, we should actually be able to do damage finally. And it should feel pretty much on point. Once we test this, we're also going to have to do this with the other thing. Ooh. Okay, that feels like that's hitting fucking miles away. Did I get these the wrong way around? I did. That would be it. That should feel correct then. Alright. We have the collision working as intended now. Good lord. I'm gonna just change this to 10 so it has the original kind of like slight buffer thing. Because circles are a bit weird when they're doing their collision. Which is why we had that initially. Alright. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, dude. Space Marine 2 looks so fun. I really cannot wait to give that game a shot at some point. Alright, oh. There's some good improvements. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I'm just, again, that's one of those, like, I'm happy with those changes. There was a very quick amount of things, a lot of things to get done in succession. And it was a lot of things that, like, add up to a much better experience, I would argue. This gives me a lot of room to work with in the future as well when developing things. Because, yeah, like, there's a lot of abilities and assists and, like, other things that will be impacted by this kind of design moving forward that I can, like, mass export, and I will need to go through everything at some point and check if I will toggle that draw self thing or not. But the fact that, yeah, like, by default, it's toggled by true, so everything should be normal unless I specify otherwise, which has kind of been the philosophy I've had with a lot of the weapons, is that theoretically, you could actually just print out a weapon object and it function. There will be no real issues. It's just not going to do anything because I don't think they have damage by base. I think it's actually designed to have 0 damage basically. No base when it's default constructed. I'm now curious, how much damage do you have on a default construction? Damage 0, yeah. So by default, this does nothing, but it is workable. That's the point, right? But that's awesome. I'm happy with that. This gives me a lot of cool ideas, though, to move on with moving forward. Like, there is a lot of effects that have been, like, left as kind of in what I would consider a shitty state because I've been too afraid to do something more interesting with them. Now we can do more interesting things. I think the only thing that I need to keep in mind... Actually, let's test that quickly now, because I've not thought about it. And I want to see if it actually affects it or not, because I don't think I was paying attention. Let's go into the game. It appears it's working. Okay, it is affected by the speed. Awesome. That was one thing I was just wondering about, is that, like, is this affected by the speed set by the object? But no, this is, I mean, I love how, technically speaking, this is just a straight up nerf to this weapon, but this weapon does need to have a soft smack at some point, because at the moment is dealing an insane amount of damage since healing across the board, healing has gone up drastically. So the damage of that weapon has gone up astronomically because of that, because it scales off healing. So that does mean I need to hit that weapon pretty hard in with all that considered. Because at the moment, so let's go look at this here. So the damage calculation here, if we go through this, so typically speaking, this weapon has a, what is the cooldown? A 1 second cooldown, goes slightly less than that. In a second, you're healing for about 15 health. Easily on this character, naturally. Like, you get 5 health regen per, as base, and then you can get, like, way more from that. Honestly, 20s are probably a valid, balancing point for this. Let's think of 20. So, like, okay, you get 20 per second, or 20 per value of this. So, at the moment, let's pull up a calculator, because it's going to be easier of a calculator. Whoops. At the moment, excluding crit, we're not going to worry too much about crit, we're just going to keep in mind that crit is not calculated yet. 20 times by default is 0.77. And then plus 5. That's really high. as a per second damage. We can probably remove the base value. The base 5. Like, I think we can hit that. That's one of the biggest hits that we can do. Now, let's consider this at a bit more of a peak situation. So we'll still use 20 as the balancing point. So 20, but instead of thing, it's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 1.2. Do we think 24 damage on, like, just under a second? That's a lot of damage. So I think what we learned, base damage comes out. Actually, no. Base damage stays in. I'm fine with it dealing 5 damage initially. What I'm not fine with is the healing multiplier being this high. So, baseline, you have 5 health regen. Right, so if we have 5 health regen, what do we want to give this as total damage? Why did I close the calculator? So 5 times point... Let's say 0.3. 1.5, that would be 6.5 damage. I think I could give you a little bit more. No, I like that. I closed it again, goddammit. So this will push this to 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will basically now be... The max level will be equivalent to level 2 of this weapon in terms of base damage. Or the, like, damage expectation. Which is a huge downgrade. Huge downgrade. But I think that's a reasonable downgrade for this weapon. Like, I genuinely feel this weapon was insane in terms of just baseline power. And I think that this is probably the correct course of action. Because just as a reference point, at the moment, enemy units. I think this is the list that's getting used. Yeah, it's still gonna probably nearly kill in one tick most enemies. Or like the beginning enemies. I'm actually tempted to put this up to me just because. We will see. Because I do think that it should, like, baseline on the correct, the character it's supposed to be on. Kill. Yeah, 2 ticks pretty effectively. Yeah, so here we go. We've already gotten to the point where we've now cascaded over its little marker. And that was fairly natural level. Fairly natural leveling. And the damage of this weapon can only just go up. Yeah, no. I think we could still respectfully hit this weapon with a bit more of a hammer if I must, but I do think that this is sitting in a bit better of a space. Especially keeping in mind this weapon is very susceptible to armor. Like that's the design of it, right? To be fair, there is something I could... No, because it's actually bad. That's a good point. When out of combat, rapidly heal. That doesn't work because we're full health. That weapon only works when you're not full health. And out of combat, so you'll never actually meet the conditions to make this strong on Iron Mouse, which is good. Thank God. I wonder what would be the best assist on Iron Mouse then. That's a good question. Like, see, this is still a huge amount of area that you have for damage. Especially knowing if you're playing this, you're probably building a much better tanky heal build, so you are actually pretty cool with enemies coming to you. Yeah, I'm thinking this is fine. It's, like, if anything, it's still possibly too strong, which I find hysterical that this character has just perpetually been in a state of being too good. Now, I believe Healing Amp actually doesn't affect this. Because I think I very cautiously thought about it and was like, yeah, it's probably best not to have as a value that can come up. See, now this would be an interesting one. Because this is going to give a shitload more area. And theoretically, this character is not going to want to take damage if I'm doing it this way. And cooldown reduction is pretty good. See, this is what I mean by, like, there's actually avenues for this kind of build. There's the don't take damage, or there's the I take all the damage and I never die. Which is definitely, I'm quite happy with, because, like, yeah, you got Light from the Depths, where we could have taken that approach, gotten armor as well once we get lower. But no, we're gonna go with the cooldown reduction route. And then we heal up to full pretty quickly, so we don't actually have a lot of downtime on the timeline binding. Gushing blowholes, because it's going to be insane. So this is one where I'm, like, considering if I should make the thing or not. I think we should. I think that that's a weapon that definitely deserves that kind of treatment, because it would look better. It would be worse, but it would look better. And that's, at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters, right? But yeah, so that's kind of what I mean by, like, I just kind of need to play the game, see which ones feel like they should be turned into Matrix versions. God, my arms have gotten so fucking skinny. I don't know, I'm really happy with the way that this targeting marker looks now. Whoops. So, I'm gonna probably call it here. We've actually had like a longer stream than I intended. Feel like I've come back and really hit the ground running with a lot of the design stuff that we've got to do. We'll probably work with particle effects a little bit more as well moving forward, because I do need to get those cleaned up and making them look a little bit more interesting. I think there's a lot that I can actually be doing with particle effects to really just give a bit more flourish, give a little bit more interest. I mean, there's a lot of animation stuff that could be done with UI as well, using the matrix system and using surfaces that I've been playing around with a little bit in my free time. So I'll see what I can do towards that as well moving forward. And yeah, I think that's everything for today. So, with that being the case, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You're awesome. Stay awesome. And I hope to see you again next time. Till then, bye-bye.